First of all, I want to thank God for giving me this opportunity to be here. My name is Kenneth Perry. I'm originally from this area, born in Morgan City, raised in Sharonton, Louisiana. I graduated high school from West St. Mary High School. My father, Kenneth Perry, is a fire captain at Chittamata Tribal Fire Department. My mother, Anna, is a special education teacher at Patterson High School. My wife of 8 years, Mike, is here as well. We both went to Texas for our undergraduate degree about 5 years ago and studied there and returned after about 6 years in Dallas. I'm a pipeline inspector for a company that offers infrastructure solutions here in Louisiana and across the country. And my wife is a middle school and high school teacher at Glencoe Charter School. We moved home not to start careers, but to be closer to home and closer to family. Since moving here, we've started a family. We have 2 little boys, Carter and Luke. Carter's 4, and Luke will be 2 years old on Wednesday. And I thank you guys for coming out tonight, and I hope to serve you one day as your parish president.
Thank you. And next we'll have Mr. Hanagriff with your opening statement, 3 minutes.
Thank you, sir. My name is David Hanagriff. And first of all, I'd like to thank the Chamber for putting this forum on tonight. I want to thank everyone that came out tonight and those that are watching it at home. It's very important for you to come out and be involved and learn about your candidates. And to say a few things about myself, I'm married to Angie Robichaud Hanagriff. She's a school teacher teaching at Berwick Elementary. I have 3 boys. Pierce, 18. He's attended his first year of college. Jackson, 14, and Porter, 11. My parents were Buddy and Anna Hanagriff from Centerville. I am co-owner and president of Hanagriff Machine Shop, a company located in Centerville. We have been at the same facility and operating for over 108 years in St. Mary Parish, and I'm very proud of that. I earned a bachelor's degree in general business from the University of Southwestern Louisiana. I'm a past member of the Louisiana National Guard. I'm a past member of Planning and Zoning Commission of St. Mary Parish, and I've served 2 terms as parish councilman, serving District 3. I served as Finance Committee Chairman for the council, for the Parish Council. And all of these accomplishments got me here where I'm at today, before you, asking to serve a 2nd term as your parish president. On planning and zoning, when I served on planning and zoning, that basically taught me about meetings, taught me about Robert's Rules of Order. Serving on the council taught me how government worked. I learned how ordinance worked, how to pass an ordinance, how to work with other parish council members. Serving as Finance Committee Chairman for the council gave me insight on the budget and the finance and how parish government works. So all that put together is why I'm here before you, asking for another term. Now, throughout this evening, I will talk about 3 main core components that I believe are true to the success of St. Mary Parish. That is infrastructure, consolidation, and economic development. I look forward to a productive forum tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Each candidate was provided with a list of questions for tonight's forum. Because of our limited time frame, we will use 2 of those questions. I will rotate which candidate answers first. Also, I will repeat each question. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond. We'll now begin with our first question. What are some of the strategies to improve economic development? What are some of your strategies to improve economic development? First will be Mr. Perry.
So currently we have a full-time economic development director. I'm sure some of you here don't even know we have that position. And my question today is, what has that office done for St. Mary Parish? Because I don't see much. One of the things that we're going to plan on doing is hiring a qualified full-time economic developer that will take an offensive approach to going out and get businesses around the country and around the world. We'll potentially establish facilities and manufacturing or whatever it would be here in the parish. The next thing would be to create an unincorporated area incentive program for those businesses that choose to come into the parish and give them tax breaks on property taxes in order for them to succeed in our area. The reality is, if we do that, if we do these strategies and bring these people into our parish, it then trickles down to our small businesses, which then empowers them to have more money and more resources.
Thank you. Be the same question for Mr. Hanagriff. You'll have 2 minutes. What are some of your strategies to improve economic development? What are some of your strategies to improve economic development?
Well, one thing we have to start doing is start thinking outside the box. And we've actually done that in St. Mary Parish already with the industrial tax exemption program. Now, many of you, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but this is how it works in St. Mary Parish. If you're a new company coming into the parish, or if you're an existing company that wants to expand, and in order to get the tax exemption process and program underway, let's say that you're within the city limits of a city. You have to go first before the city council, before the parish council, before the school board, and before the sheriff to get that accomplished. And what we've done in St. Mary Parish is thinking outside the box and got creative. I don't know if you're familiar or not, but last year we put together a program, and I went to each of these entities and I discussed with them, and we talked about what we can do to try to move St. Mary Parish into the next generation. And they gave me their authority to speak on their behalf. And how it works is this. Now in St. Mary Parish, if a company comes to the parish and they want to open operations in the city, now they come to the parish president. I take their information and we input it into a model. And when I say information, I'm talking about number of jobs, capital investment, and if it's a net positive, then we move forward and we send it to the state. And at that time, it's my responsibility to go to each entity, explain to them who the company is, what they're bringing to the table, and moving it forward to Baton Rouge. And if it's a net negative, then we don't do it. We don't give them the tax exemption, and we don't move forward. So thinking outside the box, being creative is what we need to do. There are only 4 other parishes in the state that have developed a program similar to this, and ours is actually, I think, is the best one by far. Also, my company at Hanagriff's Machine Shop, we've been there for 108 years, and we work in every industry in this parish, from carbon black to salt to sugar to oil field. My expertise in this has been beneficial to me being parish president. Bringing the knowledge forward, letting people understand, being able to talk to these individuals one-on-one is a true benefit for St. Mary Parish, and it helps me sell St. Mary Parish to those businesses that want to come.
Thank you. We'll move on to our second question. Mr. Hanagriff will be answering this first. What are your top 3 issues you plan to address? What are your top 3 issues you plan to address?
As I stated earlier, and as I stated 4 years ago, my top 3 issues were infrastructure, consolidation, and economic development. Starting with consolidation. Everyone knows, from back when I was the parish councilman, my stance on consolidation. Consolidation is very important because it's all tied together. Trying to consolidate different districts to save money and improve services is an important thing moving forward in St. Mary Parish. Infrastructure. This last year and this year, the parish council and myself had bonded $20 million for new road construction throughout St. Mary Parish. 4 years ago, I told you my commitment, and we did that. And many of you have seen the construction throughout the parish. That was just the $10 million last year. There's another $10 million this year, so there'll be continued construction going forward. Of that, a percentage went to the cities, because the cities are part of the parish. And I think it's a wonderful thing, and that's all about investing into it. 19 years ago, we bonded $4.5 million for the parish for road construction. Of that, only $1.5 million went to the parish. So I think it's a significant improvement. It shows the dedication we are for that. Economic development, just like I talked to you before, we have developed streamlined processes to help businesses come to St. Mary Parish. It's trying to think outside the box. It's trying to streamline the process and promote St. Mary Parish for the industry that we need. Ladies and gentlemen, it's tough out there, and it's only getting tougher. There's a lot that we have to do. We have a lot of parishes that we're competing against. So we have to be strong and vigilant and keep selling St. Mary Parish. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Perry will have the same question. What are your top 3 issues you plan to address? What are your top 3 issues you plan to address?
So the top 3 issues I plan to address will be infrastructure, economic development, and public trust. So with infrastructure, in order to have infrastructure, we have to have industry. And in order to have industry, we have to have infrastructure. How do we pay for the infrastructure? Well, we go to the state, we need to go to the state and federal government, and we need to get our tax money back and invest it into our parish. How will I establish public trust? Well, one of the first things I plan to do is have an external audit conducted by a qualified agency to cover all the parish's financial assets, their expenditures, and their liabilities. And when the result of that audit comes out, I want it to be published for the public to see. We have to be transparent. We cannot work behind closed doors. We can't do things under the table. We have to be transparent. If the people want to trust us, if we're going to be the voice for the people, we have to know what the people's voice is.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. At this time, each candidate will have 3 minutes to summarize his candidacy. First will be Mr. Perry. Again, you have 3 minutes to summarize your candidacy.
So at the beginning of this forum, I introduced to you the who I was. Over the course of this evening, I explained to you the what. And now it's time for you to know the why. And you need to know the why. 5.5 years ago, I was given some of the most devastating news at 27 years old, cancer. 1 year later, after winning one of the biggest fights of my life, God blessed my wife and I with Carter, and 2 years later with Luke. Every morning that I am blessed to see this side of heaven, and I look into the eyes of those 2 boys, I count it all joy. That fight for my life 5 years ago has no comparison to what I'm willing to fight for those 2 boys. This fight today is a fight that not only impacts my 2 children, but it impacts your children. A fight that ensures the better opportunity that we had. A fight that goes beyond socioeconomic groups, race, or age. A fight that will ensure that we capitalize and get a return on our personal investments into our children. A fight that I am willing to have. A fight that I'm asking you, are you willing to have? I've counted the cost and determined that it is much, but I'm prepared to dedicate myself to this fight and move our parish forward. St. Mary Parish. Thank you, and I humbly ask your support on October 12th, number 92 on the ballot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perry. Sorry for the technical difficulty. All right, Mr. Hanagriff, you will also have 3 minutes to summarize your candidacy.
Thank you. First of all, again, I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for putting this forum out, and I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your day to be here. Again, it's very important for you to get the information on your candidate, not only for this race, but every race out there. Ladies and gentlemen, I stood here 4 years ago, and I put together a plan and a path forward for St. Mary Parish. And that plan is working. We are moving in a positive direction in St. Mary Parish. We did not get into this current economic situation overnight, and we will not get out of it overnight either. It's going to take time. There are many challenges St. Mary Parish faces. I mentioned that things are getting better. We're not doing that bad, but there are challenges and serious challenges moving forward in St. Mary Parish, and we need an experienced parish president to carry that through and start moving forward. And I am a proven parish president. I have the experience. I have the education. My experience serving my community and state with the Louisiana National Guard. My education from Southwestern Louisiana. My experience serving as your current parish president, and my experience on the council. All of that got me here today where I stand before you to ask for another 4-year term to finish what I started. I humbly ask for your vote on October 12th, and let's continue the progress in St. Mary Parish. And before I end, I have to also acknowledge, I sacrifice a lot of time for this job, but I asked for that. I want to thank my wife and my children who really did not ask for this. However, they support me wholeheartedly. And without them, I would not be here standing before you, asking for a second term. Thank you very much.